He has been chosen the spokesman for the dystopian future that lies ahead for us all. The mouthpiece has been chosen. So I don't know if you've heard this recent discussion between Kevin O'Leary and Tucker Carlson. And, I'll just be straight up here right out of the gate. I'm not real sure what to make of Tucker either, okay? But in this case, in this specific instance, this discussion, I believe he is absolutely right. And this happens to be something that affects all of us. We are all affected by this. And I don't know, it just seems to me like there are very few voices out there who get to have a say, at least even just a little bit of a say in the matter. And so if our guy to have that say is Tucker, well then I guess it's Tucker. But I like what I'm hearing from Tucker because it seems like we're on the same page here when we're talking about this conversation. The conversation of AI and data centers and what the future holds, what it looks like for us all. Because in this conversation between him and Leary, you're going to hear a lot of things, a lot of disturbing things and things that should be making you question the direction that we're headed in. Because as you'll see in this conversation, it's a rat race, baby. That's what we're all in, a rat race. And guess what? Whether you have a rat to race or not, we're all on that track. And I have eyes, and my eyes tell me that what lies out ahead of that track is a cliff. And whether you have a rat in the race or not, you're headed there. We're all headed there. So you might not have a rat in the race. What you do have still, at least as of right now, is a voice in the matter. And so in this case, with something this big that affects all of us, I would suggest that each and every one of us starts to use it, especially if it's in opposition to what lies ahead, where we're being taken, because that's how I feel about this. I feel like I'm being taken somewhere that I do not want to go. And typically, that involves kidnapping, but I guess in this case, you don't have a say. You don't have a say in it. You don't want to go there, too bad, sit down, you're going. Buckle up, you're going. That's what O'Leary here is telling us. And it's interesting, this is their guy, right? Because we got to choose wisely here. We have to choose wisely because we know the public doesn't want this. So we have to choose our mouthpiece wisely. So what they've chose, who better than the king of pitch himself, right? From Shark Tank. The guy who sits and listens to pitches all day long and decides where he's going to divvy his money up at, right? That's their guy. That's the chosen one. Well, I think he fumbled the ball on this one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he fumbled the ball. But I'll let you be the judge of that.
Would you prefer in the next 5 years that China have more compute power than we do? Even though the use and the outcome and jobs and everything else we're talking about is unknown? Or would you prefer the United States of America and their allies in North America had more compute power to develop AI?
It depends. Whichever makes the United States happier, freer, and more prosperous, I guess, is the answer.
Well, do you know what the answer to that is? What do you think it is?
I'm not sure that we know.
So you could have those concerns, but I ask you again, Tucker.
I do.
I know you do, but I ask you again, and you haven't answered my question. Do you want the insurance policy or not? Would you, with all of the nefarious concerns about AI, which outcome do you prefer as an American for your family? Would you prefer all of us that are developing these data centers put down our shovels and stop while the Chinese accelerate theirs? Would you like that?
Okay, so just to your second point about the American dream, there was opportunity, I think, the ability to be judged on your actions, on your behavior, on your character, to be treated equally. And there was also freedom. And so I think many people have deep concerns about AI's effect on freedom. And you said yourself, the purpose of AI is in part surveillance.
Yeah,
What is the point? Right. So what is that? What does that look like? I asked, what jobs does it create? Couldn't get an answer. Now I'm going to ask you a more specific question.
Well,
what surveillance?
You can't get an answer from me because nobody knows what jobs it's going to create yet.
Thank you for admitting that.
Well, of course, but I've always seen every technology that has been loathed as it's come in always creates new jobs, and I assume the same for this tool. It's just a tool. So the surveillance is a great point. We have laws regarding surveillance, and we have laws that restrict the government, and they're built into the Constitution. And we have free speech. All of these things remain the same. They don't change with AI.
Well, they did until last week when the president led the charge to change the law and allow warrantless spying on Americans.
Yeah. Okay. Well, wait a second.
In direct violation of the U.S. Constitution. So obviously the Constitution doesn't matter to the people in charge.
No, it does. Every administration is kept in check by the Supreme Court, including this one. And so that's why the founding fathers created this structure. And I think it works, and I trust it for one, and I'm willing to, have my kids who are Americans grow up here, and I want to protect them.
Okay, so what kind of surveillance? I mean, it seems like AI will make it possible to know what every American is doing at all times. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I would say that's not AI that's going to do that. I would say now with the amount of high resolution video and surveillance that is built into every street corner, that's how they solve a lot of crimes. Now, if you don't like that,
do they solve a lot of crimes?
They do. They do.
Has the closure rate for murders in our big cities, like what percentage of murders are in New York City or Chicago or Detroit are solved?
I don't track the
pretty low, actually. Yeah. It's lower in this country than
the point is surveillance is a great issue, but the enhancement of surveillance with AI tools is how you now walk through the Dubai airport, and you also walk through some airports here in the U.S. Facial recognition technology has finally got to the resolution using AI's tools.
Oh, I know. It's going to run through your data center. There'll be pictures of all of us in your data center.
Every data center.
But right. So
you don't.
So, but how does that make it freer?
You don't have to opt into that program. By the way, I do it for convenience. I'm not hiding anything.
Well, it's on street corners, as you said. So it's anytime you're in public, your face is being surveilled by the U.S. government. It is,
but I'm not. Doing nefarious things. I'm not a criminal, and I'm not stealing any money from anybody. So
the definition of nefarious changes, as you know. I mean, hundreds of thousands of American citizens were sent to concentration camps by Franklin Roosevelt because they were Japanese.
Correct.
So in 1940, it was not a crime to be Japanese. In 1941, it was. So the definition does change, as you know.
It's true. I think you're raising a great point. It's a wonderful debate, and it's certainly going on. But it's analogous to the narrative that must have been happening back when the Model T Ford rolled off the assembly line, and everybody that had a buggy looked at it and said, "Oh no, this is going to wipe me out, and there'll be no work for me." That the American economy is very resilient as it develops new sectors.
What happened after the Model T was rolled out? We had two big events in the, say, 40 years after that.
We actually had
one was the First World War, and one was the Second World War. The Industrial Revolution, like all technological change, caused dramatic political and social change, which resulted in the biggest bloodletting in human history. So I'm like, it's worth thinking this stuff through. Like, technological change forces social and political change. Yeah.
They don't have any of this tech because they regulated it out of their society. We don't want to change that. We want the innovation here, not the regulation necessarily. But
I strongly agree, except to the extent the regulation protects the public.
It's a balance. That's why we trust the government.
Because if you're, too busy or too distracted to be paying attention, which is usually how this goes, well, in the background, this is what's happening. This is the conversation that matters right now in this time. This very conversation right here about AI and data centers. And we are supposed to trust this guy, right? This guy, trust in him. Utah, he put on a hat that has your name, your state's name on it. Come on, he's surely for you, right? That's all you got to do these days. Just put a hat on that says, whatever state that I'm trying to take over. And I guess that means that we're supposed to cheer him on. I mean, you'll even hear him say it in this.
You have to choose the less of two evils in your scenario. And I'm telling you, what you should do is say, I want Kevin O'Leary to succeed. I want him to beat the Chinese in compute power. And then use the laws of the United States to make sure that you keep that compute power in check whichever way you want. But to not have it available, to put down my shovel, I don't think people want me to do that. Even the people in Box Elder, the majority of them want me to hold my shovel and start digging. And that's basically the debate we're having.
How do you know that the majority
because
of
they
people
voted for it unanimously before the Chinese guys.
There was a referendum?
Like all this crap that's being spewed out.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, and I may have fallen for some of it, so you correct me. There was a referendum among citizens, or did some like county board vote?
We actually went through the whole process that you have to do by their laws, and were granted 3-0. The commissioners of the county said, we want to be
three people voted. The people of the county.
They're elected officials. That's how you do it.
How hard is it for Kevin O'Leary and Amazon and Microsoft and Google to subvert 3 county commissioners in rural Utah?
Tucker, they asked us to come. They asked us to bring $15 billion. They asked and they voted, and it was a 3-0 vote. That's how it got done. There's no other way to do
Google,
it.
and Kevin O'Leary got 3 county commissioners in rural Utah on their side. Good work.
Here, Kevin O'Leary says that these 2 girls are actually they're China spies. Shark Tank billionaire Kevin O'Leary says 2 people fighting data centers in Utah are Chinese agents. Turns out it's just 2 local girls in Utah. They make a hilarious video calling him out. Here we go.
Elevate Strategies, also a cell operating inside of Utah. Gabby Finlayson. Gabby, what are you doing? And who's paying you?
Well, hi, hello. It's me, Gabby Finlayson. What am I doing? Apparently, we've reached the part of the Stratos data center journey where Kevin O'Leary goes on national Fox News to accuse us of being cells for the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, who would want us to stop building our electrical grid? Which adversary would want that? There's only one. It's China. So what I think is happening, and I got my guys to go a deep dig into the IP addresses, and here's what we found out. This is fascinating. We found 2 cells inside of Utah. Elevate Strategies. Gabby Finlayson. Gabby, what are you doing? And who's paying you? So what I'm doing right now is, after getting this data, I'm calling out Gabby, operating in Utah.
So, hi Kevin, we are Elevate Strategies. This is Utah. You might not know it because you're from Canada. This is where we live. Before we get into anything too serious, this is the very scary, very intimidating man that is threatening us. We are not taking the criticism of anyone who is wearing flip-flops and a suit on national television. You know, it's not every day you get called out by first and last name on Fox News by a Canadian billionaire trying to ruin my state, but here we are. Kevin, are you okay? But after sitting with this for a moment, we decided to take it as a compliment because, first of all, how are these men scared of us? Have you met us? Hi. What are we talking about?
I want a forensic audit of who's funding their platforms. Who is it? So these are proxies for the Chinese government's my argument. And if they're not, because I want them to be able to defend their name to Gabby, come out wherever you are.
Okay, Kevin, go ahead. Mr. Wonderful's Nancy Drew little detective agency. Have at it, brother, because if we were Chinese operatives, we would be the worst operatives in the entire world. Someone alert Beijing that the payment portal to Jackie and I's Amex bills is somehow broken. As a reminder, we run Democratic campaigns in the state of Utah. If we were in this to be making money, we would be doing literally anything else. And you should know that because your job is to give small business owners advice. Yeah, you'd think that Kevin would understand the hellscape that is late-stage capitalism and consumerism that has led to you becoming a terrible, horrible billionaire who's trying to ruin our state. But if we're talking about audits, we should be auditing the Stratos project. We should be auditing all of the politicians that, I don't know, do you have property surrounding the Stratos project? Or maybe do you have interests that you were changing the laws before this was created? Hypothetically. We're just saying we should maybe look into people that stand to make hundreds of millions of dollars off this project, and let's be so for real and so clear, that is not us. It is not us. But sure, let's do the thing that all men who are scared and have no actual facts do, which is accuse women who have a fully formed thought of being the problem and being Chinese operatives, just like me. Like, what are we talking about? How are we making this video right now? Like, It's so unserious.
And they should thank me for this promotion I'm giving them right now. And let's shine the light of transparency on what you're doing, because they're also going after the leadership in Utah itself. These two cells.
Well, Kevin, you say that like it's a scandal, and it's not, because we are damn proud of the fact that we will continue to be shining a light on the corruption and insanity that is going on in this state, not just with this project, but with many others. We will continue to be here doing that work long after you've forgotten about Utah, because you don't actually care about what happens to the state.
Let's show the people of Utah you actually care about them.
We don't need Kevin to teach us to care about Utah, because we've been here, we were born here, we work here, we have sacrificed a lot of time, unpaid jobs, just to try and make this state better. We're the ones that actually love this state, and that is why we care about its future, and we care about this data center and what it could do to the future of our state.
I think it's important that we get to this. So, out of frame, just behind Kevin O'Leary while he's doing this Fox News hit, is a life-size cardboard cutout of himself.
And by life-size, we mean extremely short.
Maybe that's how tall he really is. We don't know. As the old saying goes, behind every terrible man is a cardboard cutout of that same man. This is a real man, and he chose to wear this hat that says Utah National Security.
When did they have these made?
Was it a gift from Stuart Adams and Spencer Cox and Mike Schultz? I don't know. But please, Kevin, let us know where this dumbass hat came from. So we decided that we need to make a hat of our own, because we also have security concerns for the state of Utah, just slightly different. We are worried about the Great Salt Lake. We are worried about our carbon emissions. We are worried about our electrical grid. We are worried about the temperatures rising in our state. We care about the economic, environmental future of our state. So, if you would like to support the work that we are doing that apparently has these billionaires shaking in their boots, you can buy our hat, which now says Utah Nature Security. And those donations of just $30 will go to support the work that we're doing.
You can pre-order these hats, which will go to us and Alliance for a Better Utah, the two organizations called out by Kevin O'Leary. So please support us, because we might need lawyers.
Right, the link's in our bio. Come out, Kevin.
For the record, and I never thought I would have to say this in my entire adult life, we are not Chinese foreign operatives.
Never have been.
Being paid by the Chinese government.
So,
bye, Kevin.
Bye, Kevin. Put your dogs away and keep my name out of your fucking mouth.
He is a foreign operative, which was hysterical.
That's the irony. He is a foreign operative. He's not an American. He doesn't give a shit about America. He doesn't give a shit about Canada. He doesn't give a shit about anything except screwing over workers, getting the state to give him money to start his thing that does surveillance and ruins people's jobs, so he can become a trillionaire instead of just a billionaire. That's who Kevin O'Leary is. And don't you think if they were actually Chinese operatives, we already live in a surveillance state. Don't you think the FBI, the NSA, and the CIA would know that they were Chinese operatives? Not some fucking asswipe billionaire on Fox News trying to screw over workers and put me on a peg with a shock collar on. Do you think that you're the guy who's the operative? You're the enemy of the people of the United States? Kevin O'Leary is the enemy of the people of the United States. And guess what? The CIA, the NSA, and the FBI do know that, which is because they also work for international billionaires. They don't work for the people of the United States, which is why we're in end-stage capitalism and we're an empire in decline.
This is terrifying. This is absolutely terrifying where we are headed here. And I'm sorry, but all I see is a cliff out ahead. And damn it, I'm going to scream and yell the whole way until I get to the edge of it. Anyway, this is Thumper. As always, sorry about your toes if we stepped on them. If you haven't yet, subscribe. We're out.